Good evening, everybody out there, all you committed game developers, streamers, esports competitors, and other wonderful people. Thank you for joining us for the second in our interview series in conjunction with Atlanta Gamer Life. The GGDA first brought you Ron Jones with the Indie Cluster with their plans for this year. Now it's our pleasure to bring you an interview with Georgia live streamer extraordinaire Tygarlily. Before we get into that stream, let me make a couple quick announcements. This is Andrew Greenberg, Executive Director of the Georgia Game Developers Association. First thing we'd like to say is that in light of yesterday's tragedy here in Georgia, the GGDA would like to recognize the many contributions of Asian American women to the game industry. I don't just mean luminaries like our frequent Siege speaker Erin Hoffman-John, but also the numerous women working locally for Hi-Rez, Tripwire, and others. There is integral to the game development process as are members of any other group. We are very proud to have them here, and we wish them all the best and safety in these times. All right, next. For them and for everyone else, we have extended our SimFest application deadline. SimFest last year was a blast, and we would love to have you speak there. We'll be doing both live streamed and pre-recorded. You are welcome to apply for either. The link is on our website, ggda.org. As usual, the focus is on game development and simulation development, but again, always looking for live stream conversations, esports, and more. Our next GGDA meeting virtually will be April 13th. We'll be talking about lessons we've learned working virtually in the past year. If you're interested in speaking, we're going to do that in more of a roundtable format. Let us know. Already got some good people lined up to contribute their thoughts on what's been going on in the past year and how they're planning to keep working virtually. Love that everybody's productivity is up, up, up. All right. Tonight, we are blessed to again have our wonderful friend, and let's transition to her, Kimmiko. Thank you for joining us, Kimmiko. And we'll start with Kimmiko, and then we'll bring in Tygarlily. Kimmiko, you want to tell us a little bit about what you have going on?
Well, I have a couple cool things going on. I've been working with a lot of amazing companies. For instance, Pharaoh's Conclave, which is the GGDA. We are actually working on what is called Gamified Podcast, which covers gaming, arts, music, esports, and film. So if you are interested in being a part of it right now, feel free to contact me, and let's see if we can get any of you booked for any of those subjects. In addition to that, I have Subsoon with founder Dedrin Sneed. We have a Juneteenth Creative Festival. That is 3 days of virtual showcases and even a trade show, like a trade vending area where people are going to be talking about things that are selling, and you can grab in on a couple comics or cool knickknacks. So let me know about that as well. As far as me, Atlanta Gamer Life, June will also be the 4th year of our community being together, which means that I've been around GGDA for a good, 3 years? So,
it has been a good 3 years.
Yeah. So,
very good year.
So, I'll be pulling up a good website that's going to have a lot of documentation and pictures of what we've been doing as a community and how we're looking forward to expand as a business.
Great stuff. All right. And let's bring on Tygarlily. And looking forward to hearing all about your journey. Tygarlily's been a great friend of the GGDA, speaker at Siege, and really, I think one of the streamers we're most lucky to have here in Georgia. Great face for the streaming community. So welcome to the GGDA, Tygarlily.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And it's really nice to meet you, Kimmiko, for the first time and play with you or talk with you today. I'm Tygarlily. Nice to meet everyone. I am new to Georgia. I've only been here for 2 years, but I'm very community driven. And so when I first moved out here in Atlanta, I got really involved with Atlanta Rain and the Atlanta streaming community. and then that got me into connections with Access Replay, High Res, Skillshot, and the GGDA. So I've done a lot of work, volunteering work, where I've either spoke on panels. I've done it for cosplay and esports. I've done it for esports, and I've also done it as an influencer for. Actually, it was at SiegeCon. Yeah, so it was with the GGDA. I love building costumes. I'm very creative at heart, but what it did was it introduced me to esports, and then I ventured into DreamHack, where I volunteered more time because I just love the gaming industry and I just love being around the energy of either one, what DreamHack had to offer, high energy esports, and two, game development. So that's just been my bread and butter for the past 2 years. And on the side, I still love building costumes and taking care of my gaming community called the Last Tribe most every day now. And it's just been a great 2 years. Thank you again for introducing me.
All right. If Andrew, you don't mind muting your mic for the moment. I keep seeing you're in a little feedback.
I'm going to pop up as green, but I'm muted out here so nobody on the stream will hear it.
No problem. So tell me, Tygarlily, first off, where did you get that name from?
Tygarlily is, and it's spelled funny, I know, but that was my 14-year-old brain. When you're approaching the internet, you basically create your brand right on the spot, your persona. A gamer tag can either one, be fun, which most people do, or two, it can define you, who you are. And at that moment, I was a girl who really loved playing video games, and my boyfriend at the time handed me a bouquet of Tygarlilies. And I was just like, this is perfect, like I'm going to do that. However, I used to be creative. I took a lot of fun classes in high school where they're like, do something different. So I was like, if I spell it funny, I know in the future I will always have that name. And anytime a new platform comes out, I'm like, Tygarlily, I'm just going to go sign up, even if I'm not. So I decided that day to go with it, and I've been with it since. And it's always fun trying to explain that story because everyone automatically thinks of Peter Pan. And I did grow into loving Peter Pan, of course, but it was the flowers that really did it. So
yeah, I love Tygarlilies, by the way. So I was like, all right, dope. So it obviously, since you had gotten your name since you were 14, can you tell us a little bit more about like, for instance, you started gaming, like how young were you, and what type of games did you start off playing, and what have you emerged to?
Off on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. They were my brother and my dad. They both loved playing it. I was 5 years younger than my older brother, so as you can see, like, what are you doing? Can I play? Can I join? And I was always the one tagging along. Eventually, it turned me into a gamer as well. And like, I love platformers, right? So as a current day indie game, it just like hits home because that's where I started. It wasn't until I was a teenager and I started learning about online gaming that, which was kind of like what started picking my gamer tag, because I didn't want everyone knowing me as buttmunch225, because that's what my gamer tag was until I started playing online, because it's not, yeah. So, but I didn't start getting into competitive gameplay until 19 and forward. So for me, gaming was more of experiencing the platform, the RPG, or just spending time playing a bunch. So I did start off with like Super Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog, and then just developed from there. It actually was PlayStation when I started learning that games could be beautiful. I picked up Final Fantasy VII for the first time, and it was just like, I did not realize this, it blew my mind, and it really wrapped me up. So I've always been playing games. It's been a part of my life since like I picked up a controller, I'd say like 6 years old. Everyone's story. I've been playing forever, but I didn't start really getting into it until maybe during college or after it, where it became more of an online, like a social aspect.
I can totally feel that. When I started playing World of Warcraft, that's when like I was super immense into gaming, because there's so much like so much interaction, and you didn't have to like go outside of your box. But For me, I know for sure I started like interacting and going through the arcade community where there was a lot of fighting games. In particular, mine was Soul Calibur. So
That's what I started. I used to work for Xbox, and that's what we would play on the floor when we were bored. They gave us Soul Calibur and they gave us Trials. You know that bike game?
oh,
They're like, here, you can play with it. But I learned Soul Calibur. Khalik was my man, just because I didn't like anyone getting close to me. I'm like, just stay away, you know? But
okay. Now you got me thinking. Okay, so first, let me recall. Where did you say you're from?
I grew up from Oregon, and
Okay.
I moved to Georgia 2 years ago.
Okay, and you said you worked for Xbox?
I was 1-800-Xbox. I worked on the
Okay.
floor, so any support. And then I transferred from Xbox to Games for Windows Live, which is now just Windows games.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just phone support for the longest time, and when you're stuck on the phones, Microsoft would try to entertain you.
So what did you go to college for? What was your major back then?
Well, I always wanted to be a marine biologist. That was my high school dream.
Dope.
And then it turned into being a veterinary technician, and then slowly turned more into something more realistic. I thought business is where I'd go. So I started studying marketing and all that. However, in order to pay for school, I had to keep a full-time job. I wasn't really into taking out loans. So I had a full-time job, which was Xbox, which is where I learned all my technical skills. And so it paid for school, which I was going for marketing. On the other hand, I was studying a lot about technical support. And eventually I just ended up getting experience. And then I ended up in IT. So I was information technology for a health clinic, and there are 150 offices. That's actually when I found Twitch at the same time, because you're at work, and you're just watching.
messing around,
You're
yeah.
watching gamers, and you're like, I can do that too, and then you just start doing it. But it was just really weird. So by the time I found streaming, I kind of combined my education with my life experiences, and that's what brought me here. It's just a lot of that, because for the longest time, you don't really know what you want. It just started to morph on its own for me. There were a lot of walls I did run into, right? Like I wanted to be a veterinary technician, but chemistry, I just couldn't get through it. I want to do marketing, but it was just so hard for me to get along with sales. Anyways, but then gaming is just, I've always been a gamer. It just made a lot of sense. I had 3 big signs right there, and it's like, this is for you. You need to be Tygarlily.
Dude, that's amazing. So, like, at what age was that you were exposed to Twitch for the first time?
I was actually playing WoW. And you know how Blizzard always cross promotes in their client, and so one day I was logging in. I think it was during Legion, and it was a PvP tournament they were doing at BlizzCon, and they said, if you log into Twitch, then we'll give you a free this in game. I can't tell you what it is anymore. It's been so long. I'm like, okay, and then I make a Twitch account. I go watch what they told me to watch for 2 seconds. Don't care, but then I'm just like, what is this? And this was in 2016, so it wasn't too long ago. And then I just went down the rabbit hole.
Nice. And so, when did you start deciding that you wanted to get into like actually taking that first step to stream and try out a streaming platform?
It's weird. Most people are just, I'm going to plug the camera in and I'm just going to try. That's the first step. I've always been a person that likes to take the first step. That's why I'm very good at networking or going out to events. I don't really have too many boundaries. So with streaming, a lot of people are scared. They don't want to show their face, so they'll just start gaming without a camera. For me, I just went full into it. The first stream was strange. I was playing Elder Scrolls Online, and I had never turned a game on and just seen chat, and everyone's like, "You're new. Hi. Hi. Hi, how do I play with you?" It was really, really strange. But I was a very shy person. I'd consider myself a wallflower growing up. Streaming really helped me with public speaking, because it's not like I'm speaking to someone necessarily. I'm speaking to myself. I would look at myself in OBS and practice it that way. And then that kind of translated into being able to go to public events, sit on panels, go to interviews, talk to devs, all that, So it was crazy. But the first step wasn't too hard. I just wanted to try. That's all.
Okay, and what was your platform that you streamed on?
It was Twitch. I started on that
Okay.
one.
Cool. Now, I overheard from the grapevine that you actually wind up going to another platform, which was formerly called Mixer. So, when did you decide to switch to Mixer, and how was your experience there?
It was much different. The platform with FTL and the community. So you have your Twitch streamers who can branch out to multiple different platforms. They could be streaming on Facebook, they could be streaming on YouTube, but Mixer was very tight. They were all just Mixer streamers. I had dabbled with it in the beginning, moved to Georgia, and won a cosplay contest. The person running that cosplay contest happened to be Robot Giggles. And she just met me at DreamHack, and we really hit it off. I learned all about Mixer from her, and then got really interested in it. So I started watching, getting more involved, and then something had happened on Twitch that wasn't against anybody else. It just made me finally decide that, hey, I'm gonna just spend 1 week on Mixer and see what it's like. So I do, and the amount of open arms that I got when I did it. You know, I would meet somebody and then they would accept me into the community. Like someone that's like, you walk up to a table and there's an empty seat and someone just says, you sit here. That is a really good feeling. You don't get that a lot. And that was actually really addicting. And I sat in that seat and then I never left. That week turned into a year. I got partnership on Mixer and then they closed. So then what they did was they gave us Facebook partnership, which I kept. I still have it. But, you know, this year I decided to take on Twitch. I feel like my community's grown. It's time, but I'd like to focus on one platform now. And I'm thinking we're ready for Twitch.
And so far, I know Twitch has done a lot of changes since its beginnings, and even back in 2016, like the back end interface and all the affiliate stuff has changed immensely. So, What are some of the things that you really like about Twitch as far as player interactions and viewer engagement?
I don't like being stream sniped. Can you please stop doing that? However, it's also very awesome being able to speak and then have, you know, your chat there to interact with you right when something happens. The clipping ability on Twitch is awesome and super easy. I love the fact that content is being made for you while you're live. So people will clip and then you have videos and you can go cross post them anywhere you need to. That's an aspect I like. I am learning about the Twitch community. This is actually a skill set that I didn't have until I went to Mixer. So now that I'm on Twitch, it's been really cool getting to know some of the streamers and content creators that are from there. And the majority of my friends, they're all partners. And I didn't realize that I could have utilized that back in the day. You know, like there's Bear, Calamity, there's tons of people, right? So it's like, I should have utilized that better when I was there.
Well, to be honest with you, they actually, like last year, well, Bear was already partnered, but Calamity and a lot of the others that are partnered now, they actually got partnered last year, so don't feel bad.
Yeah. Well, see, but that's the beauty of Mixer. A lot of my networking and learning how to be a content creator and engaging streamer, I learned there. And so now I can bring those skills with me to Twitch and hopefully be successful.
Okay, and so as far as the content that you're planning on streaming, I noticed that you stream a lot of first-person shooters and other type of games, but in particular, I noticed that you do dabble in a lot of indie games. Could you tell us, like, exactly how do you choose which indie game to play?
I have my sources. No, really, it's one of my mods loves finding just like these jewels on Steam, for example, like Labyrinthine. We were playing their game and we got involved with the developers. I love doing that. I love, like, I'll at them on Twitter being like, we're playing your game right now, and so someone from the team will show up and they'll tell us all about the game in chat. And so, like, those interactions is like what we're really striving for, and it's been a lot of fun testing games out or just giving the feedback that they'd like, either on Steam or in their personal Discords. It's been super cool doing that, and I mean, I did that for DreamHack, but now that I've found out how to do it on my own channel, that's been awesome. So we try our best to do that on Mondays because I do have like the skeleton of the community is FPS, but I do incorporate like creative streams today. That's why I paint on my face because we were painting today. You know, I'm not just an FPS streamer. I do everything, and I love doing that because then I can stay sane. Just like doing the same thing every day would probably drive me a little crazy. So, yes, on Mondays we'll pick an indie game and play it, and then we'll try to get the devs involved. So it's been really cool doing that.
It's pretty dope. And speaking of art, how long ago was it that you got into cosplay?
I used to be a Tumblr baby where I would just sit on Tumblr all day because I absorb images as I scroll up and down. And I discovered cosplays and people that were building really badass, intricate costumes. And at the time, I had been commuting to work on the public transportation in Portland, Oregon. And you listen to a book long enough, you fall in love with a character. And then you're on Tumblr and you've seen people build things and you're like, oh, I could probably, 1 + 1 = cosplay. So that's what got me started in it. And cosplaying and streaming came hand in hand. They kind of collided at the same time for me because what I would do is I would talk about what I really wanted. I'd be like, oh, I really want to make Ciri from The Witcher. I just don't have the tools. And then as you say that while you're streaming, people believe in you and they support that decision. And then the next stream is you building what you wanted. And so they kind of went hand in hand. And so I would build or I would game. And at the end of the month, I'd have this new intricate cosplay I could wear. And then I would go to these cons or conventions and get to know people. And that's where I would network. Or for me, it was just a confidence builder because if you walk into a room as someone's favorite character, they're all going to smile at you. And so that's a really good feeling coming from someone who was a wallflower as a child.
Oh, that's dope. And like, for example, I heard you talk about Robot Giggles and tell me about that experience in that cosplay. Was that your first cosplay contest? And where was it?
No, it was somebody else found or she found me on Instagram. Instagram was my bread and butter. That's where I would post my builds, my pictures. That's where I'd interact with a lot of people, use DMs to like plan photo shoots. So somebody had found one of Sylvanas before she was a bad lady. She found I have a Sylvanas cosplay. I loved her in Legion. So it's like I'm making her my first Warbler project, which is a thermoplastic, and you have to use a heat gun to build it. It took 3 months, but while I built it on Twitch, I learned a lot of creative individuals, a lot of creative partners on Twitch, and they would come to stream and talk and share their experiences or give advice on what I was doing. So the whole build itself, if I looked at it, it would remind me of those engagements. So, I would see her gauntlets and be like, oh my gosh, Evil Ted was in chat during that and he was there while I put that gem there. And so it was a really fun experience. And so, of course I posted all over Instagram. Somebody found it and then sent it to her. I'm not sure if she found it or someone else found it. That's a discussion I need to have with her. But then she's like, can I just throw this into my my cosplay contest? Because she was working with Mixer and DreamHack of getting tickets out. Because, DreamHack in Atlanta was relatively new. And so she's trying to get tickets out, and she threw a contest, and I happened to win it, so I got some, and then she handed them to me personally, which I'm eternally grateful for, because then, I got to meet her. And then I walked into DreamHack for the first time, and I looked around, and it's like, I need to be a part of this. Like, how do I become a part of this? And so that's where that ball started rolling.
So when you walked into DreamHack, and what year? I'm thinking you said 2018. Was it the 2018 or 19 DreamHack that you walked into?
2018.
Okay, so let me go back to 2018's DreamHack. All right, because I remember back then I was a brand ambassador for it, and yeah, they were going hardcore.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Interacting with
the Smite Stadium was huge. It was
yes,
yeah. And then the indie stage at that time, they actually had a stage, whereas now they just have a booth where the devs come and talk, but they actually had a full-on stage. And I was like, that must be nerve-wracking because someone has to go up there and be like, look at my baby.
So when you went into 2018's DreamHack, like, what was the first wow factor for you? when you came in and you was like, wow, this is crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it's the front door. You walk in and you've got all those lights everywhere. You don't realize gaming could be this big or this awesome. I've been to PAX, but it wasn't esports oriented. You have your booths and stuff, your businesses, the brands, but DreamHack was esports. You had a stage for Super Smash Brothers. You had a stage for Street Fighter, right? And this Mortal Kombat was another one. And I remember I was there for Smash at the time. So I would go over to the Smash booth and I was sitting there just watching. And then there was this guy sitting in front of me, turns around and I'm like, is that Samus? Are you the Samus? Are you the Pikachu man? I'm standing right next to you. I've seen you online. Like, you are cool. You're cool. I know who you are. And it was just so cool being like, I think you watch these people online and then they're right there in front of you. I also met Yaya Han there, which was a big inspiration for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as a kid, I was in high school, I think, when she had like this television show where she was on a contest for cosplay and it's like, cosplay's so cool, they have a TV show based on it. So it's like, it's someone somewhere likes it, right? So yeah, it was, I think besides walking in and just being blown away by the lights and the atmosphere, it was walking around and you just pass an internet sensation like it was no big deal, you know? So
So reflecting on who you are now and what you were before, aka Miss Wallflower, what kind of insecurities you feel that you had to like kind of overcome in order to become who you are now?
Conversations. I've always doubted my intellect in general. Like I was always scared of just saying something someone would look down on or just think that I was smart. I definitely grew up in an atmosphere as primarily male, and so I was used to just being quiet and always listening. I have a military background, and it was interesting to grow out of that. Like our time right now is just very interesting. We women are growing out of that and becoming more empowering of ourselves. And so nowadays, I'd like to advocate that and be like, speak up. Don't be scared to say anything. Anything you say is not stupid, and it's okay to be corrected, right? It's okay. No mansplaining. No explaining, please. It's okay to be corrected. That's fine. But those were things that like I struggled with, and I giggle now if someone's like, "You said that wrong." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right." And you know, I had a stutter growing up, and I worked my way out of it so that way I could be a public speaker.
And what did you do to work your way out of it?
I practiced streaming. So streaming to me is more like talking to a mirror. And so I can check on my reactions. I can check on my audios, my voice. And so for 5 years of doing that, you know, it's just, I've grown better over time. And I'm no longer quiet and I can speak up. And that was one of my biggest struggles.
Growing up, of obviously you are a female gamer, and now you're talking about cosplaying and all this stuff, and the whole ideal of having this image and of a female or being a female. What do you feel that that you had to go through, and what do you feel changed recently, or you feel is changing as a female gamer?
So it was DreamHack 2019. So my relationship with Access Replay has really helped with that because Access Replay, the CEO is a female, Allie Young, and she does her best to put women on pedestals. She will highlight you. She will put you in the best opportunities for you. And one of them that she gave me was a AT&T and Cloud9 activation at DreamHack. And while I was working there, I met Erin. Actually, I played with her yesterday. Everybody remember Erin? But basically what they were doing was they were highlighting women in the gaming scene. So to me, because of the people that I've surrounded myself with, I'm so used to seeing women play video games. Which to me is like, I love girls that can game. And I love girls that can kick butt. And there is no reason why they shouldn't. But apparently that's not common in some places. And so I feel like it's my duty just to make it come to light that girls can do it too, you know? So, yes, female power.
Your power. Okay, good. And like your community, how long have you when did you start what you said it's called what again? Tribes?
The Lost Tribe,
The
yeah.
Lost Tribes.
We grew into that Peter Pan feeling, so
Okay, the Lost Tribes. Like how long ago did you build that community? And tell me a little bit about it, like their personalities and what you do with them per se.
So 5 years has been a long time. That's actually what I was painting today. I wanted to create a memoir, like a painting, a collage, basically as a memory of the 5 years and everybody that stuck around. Because people come, people go. I used to think that not all good things last, but now that I'm in the future and I can look back, all the good things are still there, and that is something that I'm very grateful for. And so when we first started, like I said, I was just learning, and I was trying to fulfill projects, and people were there to help out with it. But what it was I wanted to create that environment, and you hear this a lot. I wanted to create that environment people were excited to show up to. A fun, positive place that when they were done with work or they're done with homework, they could just like hop online and be like, "Hey guys, what are we doing tonight?" Right? And so I've done that with the same people. They've come and gone, but they've always been there, and they're still here today. So basically, when it started, when I was done playing, I was a big raider in WoW. When I'd be done with that, then they're like, "Lily, come play with us." I'm like, "What are we playing today?" I'm like, "We're playing Ark." I'm like, "Okay, let's go play with dinosaurs." And then it'd be the next day. Like, you just get lost having fun with your friends. So that's what developed the Lost Tribe. One of my friends pitched the idea of Lost Boys, but like I was saying earlier, I wanted everyone to feel accepted, so we changed it to Lost Tribe. So It wouldn't be just boys, even though the majority of them are silly, silly boys.
And yes, go ahead.
No, you go.
Yeah, and like so y'all played Ark. It seems like a lot of games that you're playing are very co-op related, like online related. What other games do you guys play together right now lately?
Recently, Valheim. That's a time crunch. That was been fun, but we've hit the point where now it's like, well, there's nothing else to do but build. We finished Final Boss. That's now a quote in the Discord community. It's Final Boss, because it's been a lot of fun. And Call of Duty has just been my bread and butter lately. It's brought me so many amazing people, so it's like I don't really want to let it go. And then we're trying to find the new one, actually. So besides the indie, like if I can find an indie game that's multiplayer, we'll play it. Labyrinthine was one of them. Other games that we absolutely adore is Phasmophobia, because just fun getting scared with your friends, right? Like, oh, monsters. But those are the top three right now. We love Animal Crossing. So I love that one specifically, even though there's only like a handful of people that actually play it with me. It's because the people that aren't first-person shooters can get involved. And so that's why I love that one.
Absolutely. Have you ever tried that game Rogue Company yet?
I have tried Rogue Company. I didn't stick to it.
It's all good. Yeah. I like that one. They've been like doing some great graphics, and I've just been amazed on the development team, and I'm really curious on where they're going to take that game. So
yeah, I want to see it in the competitive scene. You know, like where Rogue will go, and if it'll come to Atlanta. The music as well. I'd really like where the music went, and I think the musicians that they bought the track from are Atlanta based too.
High Res works on Road Company with another company, I believe. But as far as casual games go, because you got me thinking about Animal Crossing. What kind of casual games do you guys also play? Because I know they had Among Us was a big trend. Is there any other like casual fun games that you and your community enjoy playing?
I wouldn't call it casual. Oh my gosh, we've been challenging each other to Flappy Bird And for
Hey,
some
bird. Okay.
for some reason it is addicting, and somebody is at like level like the score 24, and we're all trying to catch up to him, but we're all stuck at like level 4, and we're like, we're gonna catch you, we're gonna do this. But that's what we've been doing, because we're, we need a break from what we're doing. Either like we'll all hang out in a Discord in the evening, and some of us are graphic artists, some of us work for esport orgs, and so we'll just hang out there, we'll talk, and when we're like, oh my god, we stuck at Warzone, we need a break, we'll pull out Flappy Bird and just see who gets the highest score. So we were doing last night.
Nice.
So
But that's all about what a community is about, is just coming together and just really enjoying each other's company. And I really applaud you for making online base so that even during these times of COVID, people have someone to connect to, you know what I mean? That's outside of their house. Because sometimes you're especially if you live with someone, you're like probably going crazy, with that person all the time. So having an outlet is great. Do you have any thoughts what you would like to do for the community in the future, like after COVID or when it's more safe to be out in the open?
yeah, so one of my favorite things is meetups. Either doing one that's already pre-planned, like the Atlanta streamer community, or when Premiere does theirs. So I'm a part of the Premiere Esports org that's also located in Atlanta. Like just doing that, and just like, okay, when it finally happens and we can finally get together, be like, everyone, we're going here. I can't wait for it to happen again. I miss it, like I said, I moved here, and that's what I would do all the time. And without that, it was also half my content was those events, so people could like get an insider's look and be like, oh, that's not from me, or I'm on my way right now, type of thing. But I would love to do meetups again. I really hope that when COVID's over, the places that I used to go to are still there. That's one of my concerns, because it's a hard time on us, and it's just. DreamHack, that would be a great place to do something. Or it's Georgia, we've got MomoCon, DragonCon. Yeah, we've got all the cons. So
Anime Week in Atlanta.
Anime Weekend. Yeah,
Southern Fried Festival. What is it?
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Siege will be another.
Oh, Siege, absolutely. So okay, I never actually been to a Premiere meetup. You said it was a meetup, right?
Yeah, well, it's new. So as soon as we can do it, we would make it happen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I know one place that I saw you in person was at a Stream Atlanta meetup. So tell me about your experiences with Stream Atlanta, and what you recall there about, and how did you feel when you went to one of their meetups?
So for me, I had gone to one of their meetups, and I am one of those people that likes to have lots of fun. My social anxiety will get the better of me, though. And so the first meetup I ever went to, I drank a little too much. So everybody remembers me spilling beer all over the table. We were playing some silly game. And this is how I remember them, because if anybody plays games, you're my friend. Like, I had a good time. They had a bunch of the female streamers go to the table, and it was, you're supposed to open up a tissue box and pull out as many tissues as you can and be the first done. And I thought Dr. Crazy said go. And so I start ripping, like I'm going to town on this tissue box. And then I look up and everyone's staring at me. And I'm just like,
that was you.
That was my first experience. And then briefly after that, my beer went, I party fouled. So I made an impression on everybody, but I did like that no one made me feel bad about that. That was the best thing. So then the next time I was still working with Access Replay, then the management or the crew that run Atlanta Stream Community were trying to find another venue to throw it. So I got to actually meet with everybody that ran it. So I got to meet like Crazy, for example, and Luis, and what that did was it really let me get to know their passion behind the stream community and what they really wanted for. They really cared, they really cared what experience their community members were getting. So I got to see that side of them as well.
That's cool. And I cannot believe from what you're telling me, you've been to Atlanta about 2 years now, or was it how many years has it been you've been?
It's been two and a half, yeah.
2.5 years. And within that short period of time, you have gone through crazy adventures. You met so many people in the gaming industry. You met so many communities per se. And I think that's pretty dope. Like, if you were to talk to your friends in Oregon about your experience in Georgia, what would you tell them?
Yes, Seventh Edge. What would I tell you? I would say I am not the same person anymore. I used to be just a quiet person who would just listen. I would observe and I would just do. I consider myself an action go. I love sports. I was very athletic. I come from a dirt bike background. We'd always go camping, play on motorsports. So I was just always quiet. I always had something to do, though, keep my hands busy. And when I moved out here, I really got to find myself because I could recreate and find what I love to do and go for it. So if you really love something, like for me, it was Overwatch and cosplay, I was able to combine the two. And so I was so happy. And people really enjoyed that. They loved the energy coming off of me because I was just in my happy place. And it just kind of went from there. It was really easy to make friends that way.
And since we're playing advice, Tygarlily's advice channel right now, let's talk about what would you tell a young streamer who is an introvert? What should they do to just start off, to become, a streamer or become professional? And what kind of things would they look out for?
So that's a big concern for a lot of people. I quote verbatim, I wouldn't know what to say. I don't want people to see my face, or like, how do I keep my chat engaged? Well, first you gotta concentrate on your content, which is yourself. I was a receptionist for a while. How I was stuck in IT for so long. I wanted to try something outside of my box while I was still in Oregon, and so I decided to be a host and a receptionist. Just to be more of a people person. So I was used to sitting at the front desk of a health clinic all day. When people would come in, I would say, "Hi, how are you today?" And that's the kind of thing that would just start your stream. Just, "Hi, how are you? I'm Tygarlily. This is what happened to me today. How was your day?" And that opens it up for chat to respond to you. And then that starts a conversation, makes it easier on you, and it starts flowing. If you don't have anybody in chat, you can pretend they're there, because in that way, on camera, at least there's something to watch, where you can ask a friend to sit and chat with you. And if they feel like they could fill an awkward silence for you, they could just throw something in chat. And I had that. I was really lucky with a few individuals that were there to do that for me. And then just don't be shy. Everybody is beautiful. You look great. Anytime you're not beautiful is when you think you're not. If you have the confidence and you sit up straight and just smile and just play games, you're doing it. That's what you need to do.
Absolutely. And now let's flip the switch. What kind of advice would you give to indie developers and artists who want to reach people who are influencers and streamers like yourself? How do they get in touch with you, or how do they get the attention of people who are streamers like yourself?
I make it easy to find myself. I'm very open. I will tag and I will at your game. If I'm playing, I'll be like, "Today I'm playing Labyrinthine. Come join me. Come say hi. Show me the way." There's been a few other games where that's happened. Or I will go into the Discord and I'll do that. If you are trying to reach an influencer that you think would be great for your game or review or anything like that, an influencer that you want on your team, don't be scared to just talk to them. Go find them while they're live. Make them laugh in their chat. Then go to their Twitter and DM them saying, "Hey, today was great. You were so funny. This moment happened between us, and I just wanted to open the door and see if you're interested in my game." So that way they have a fond memory of you, a live fond memory. And then when they see your DM, they don't immediately just go, "Oh." They'll remember your name.
Absolutely. So right now I'm going to open the floor up. I know Andrew probably got some questions from the chat so far, and let's see what the viewers are asking.
Yeah, a few different questions. One of them wants to know the audience for indie games versus your AAA games. Do you find you have a significant drop off, or is that audience a more committed group of viewers?
I am the same in my indie game reviews as I am in FPS. I get just as mad in both styles. So if they end up liking me in FPS and I go, hey, now I'm going to switch over to this game, you're welcome to join me, they will still follow. Anybody that's like, I'm only here for COD, I'm out, they leave. I don't care because I'm going to the new game title. There is a difference, but my job is to just try to make the switch seem seamless. I will flow the chat in. No one wants to leave. They want to stay there, and then they'll watch. I actually would combine indie with the AAA for views, just so brands would see that. I would start my day off on Call of Duty, and then switch later into an indie title or a less popular game or a game I wanted to play, because what that does is that whole video shows that you had this amount of viewers this entire time. However, usually with the indie games, the numbers do dip down a little bit, but then it'll bring in more people that are interested in that game if I am marketing it properly, if I've got the links out there, or it's in a category on the platform I'm playing.
Now, certainly there are a number of companies that'll pay for streamers to play their games or play games that they're representing. What are your thoughts on working with companies like those?
I only want to play a game that I'm interested in. Sansa Aura was one recently that was offered to me. They did pay me, but I only wanted to play their game. So another one was Blessed Unleashed. So I'm in this group that's like, here's a bunch of new games. You can pick one, and you will get paid by this company for that time. And for me, luckily I get to pick. However, if it's a company that's paying me to play a game that I don't like, they're not going to get a good review off of it. So it's like I might as well not play it. I don't want to get paid for that.
Wonder J on YouTube wants to know, what is your favorite indie game other than Labyrinthine?
Indie title. Mention. Sansa Aura was really good. That's a recent one that came out. And then there's another one that was actually an FPS shooter that I tried out at DreamHack Anaheim. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was really good, and I don't know why I can't remember it. I think it was When We Fall, but it was a really good FPS, and I saw a lot of potential in it, as an FPS player. But Sansa Aura was also... that one reminds me of like Diablo, but it meets Dark Souls, and it has the Dark Souls gameplay style to it. That was a really good one.
All right, Wonder J also recommended Last of June. We have some streamers in our chats as well. So I wanted to ask you your experience working with some of these streamer groups like Premier GG and Shot Call. Can you talk a little bit about what they provide and what it is like working with these groups?
Those are relationships that I built up. So it is different. So for me, with Shot Call, I'll use them as an example. Shot Call, the relationship I built up with them was being featured, and in return, I would bring in new players or new gamers to their platform, or at least open that door for them. Just be like, hey, have you heard of Shot Call? And in return, Shot Call would offer features, and I would get paid for each person that came in. It was like $5 a person, so it wasn't too much, but there was some compensation, some more appeal to someone that needs to make an income, which wasn't my concern. And then they do bring in opportunities. So same with Premiere. You build these good relationships, you stay engaged, and in return they'll be like, I found something that really fits you. I think this brand will really like you, and those are the opportunities I'm looking for. So that's what I would get in return.
Also from our streamers, some streamers make a point of courting drama as a way to get publicity. You've always been one of the low drama streamers. What are your thoughts on actually managing to avoid the drama?
That's a great one. When I was mentioning switching to Mixer, like I said, it was very community based. and community can also be in a darker light, changed to clicky, and then you start to learn about the drama that is there. I like the fact that I grew up as an observer, as a wallflower, because I can recognize that. I would watch that in high school, be like, oh, I see that. And so for me, I usually avoid it. As I get older, it's becoming more interesting, like making my home here and not having to worry about losing anything. It's becoming more interesting to observe and watch the drama unfold, because it's like, I see that is a really bad formula there. That variant and that variant are now together and they shouldn't be. That's a disaster waiting to happen. But you can't tell them that. So I would just observe and watch and stuff. So it's just best to stay out of the drama. A lot of people in the gaming orgs do that. I don't know why. It's just like a sitcom show. It's better not to have the drama, because it's your reputation on the line. It's just best to avoid it.
All right, you talked about a number of social media channels you use. Where are you? Where can they find you? And what do you find the most valuable? And perhaps it's situational. What situations are each of the social media channels good for?
I started on Instagram. That's a really good one to build on, because of its reach and the amount of people that are on that platform. Instagram and Facebook are now the same thing. Facebook has created Facebook Gaming. I'm also on there, and as one of their partners, I just really wanted to get to know the platform, see how it could, I could utilize it, and what they can offer me. And it is a very powerful tool as an international reach. As a streamer on Twitch, I feel like my reach is in the States or people that are related to my current viewers. So, your recommended list. I just feel like that's as far as my reach goes. However, on Facebook, I can select where I want my videos to be seen. And you can do that on Instagram as well. I've never gone to YouTube. This might be something for you to answer, because I don't have any experience on YouTube. I don't know how their analytics work or their reach is, but Facebook, you could say, hey, today I'd like Indonesia to see my content, and that'll bring in other viewers from there.
Yeah, frankly, YouTube's analytics are pretty poor, and they really wish they'd improve their tools for those. However, for us, it's good because we have such a back catalog of content that we want people to access. There's still a lot of good sessions going back to 2011, 2014, and so forth. We want those to be easily found. And there's really not a way other than YouTube to handle that. So, and we're mainly on YouTube for our members so that they can access these videos. They know about them and they want to find them rather than have to go through any other collection to make it happen. So you've got some great things coming up. I'm about to share the link for DreamHack Plays. Do you want to talk about this endeavor and what you have going on with DreamHack Plays?
Yeah, that's my most recent feat. Remember, I said I walked into DreamHack and I looked around and I said, how can I be a part of this? And I have officially signed a contract and a W-2 with them. That's huge. I'm being paid. Yes, you can get paid in gaming. But my first official day with DreamHack is tomorrow. It's at twitch.tv/DreamHackPlays, and I'll be playing Cyanide and Happiness, the new game, and I believe the developer will be there joining us and answering questions.
Excellent. Will the cartoonists be there too? I think they worked on the dev.
I'll see. I've been very focused on today. And making sure I'm here. But if you'd like to see what happens tomorrow, you're welcome to join. It's at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard in the afternoon.
All right, we were down to our last few minutes. So anyone in chat who has any more questions they want to share, please do so. I have one more to ask. You have made a point of being a creator streamer who, in addition to creating great content, creates art, creates costumes, and so forth. Have you thought about a relationship with game devs where you would be involved in that process all along, perhaps this promotion, where they could reach out to you, say, be this character, create this art, and be part of the promotion?
Yeah, actually, it was at SiegeCon. I was trying to get that to work. I wanted to see if I could get that to work. I was helping Ninrak out with his Elemental Rift, and, I'd walk around to booths and ask them. I'd ask, hey, what's your opinion on promotion with costumes or cosplay? And most of them would just, And however, there were a few people that are like, yes, we're considering it, but we're going to outsource. They're going to find their cosplayer. They're going to probably go to an agent or somebody, that just produces something, has a good viewership, got the followers along with that community, and will use them as their promotion. So that's just something I would run into all the time. I also remember running into managers of influencers, Square Enix, for example, and just mentioning that I cosplayed. And immediately shut down in front of me is what he did. And so it's just like, it's been really interesting to see if I can incorporate both. And there's some people that do. Access Replay let me, like I built a Fortnite axe for them, and then we walked around with it. That was a lot of fun. But it's you don't really see it. It's no one's warming up to it.
That's very interesting, because back when High Res was doing Smite, they reached out to a number of my cosplay friends specifically to come out to their events in full getup, and that worked out very well for everybody. So
that'd be awesome. You just have to be in the right circle for that promotion, though, right? Like, how would we have known High Res was looking for cosplayers?
Got it. All right, some quotes from Twitch. C. Perkins says, "It's more about the atmosphere and community she has created than actual games. She makes all games fun." There's definitely some interest in chat for more information about DreamHack Plays, but they can tune in at 1 p.m. tomorrow to see how that works out. And frankly, I'd love to hear a report sometime about it. Unfortunately, I'm going to be watching legislative Zooms at 1 p.m. So if at best, I'll be giving you a quarter of an eye to see Cyanide and Happiness. Kimmiko, any last questions and comments from you?
No, I was enjoying making faces.
Yeah, they're cute. I like them though, because I would look over at you and be like, "Oh, me too."
Well, go ahead and share one last time, Tygarlily, any of your social media links?
Yeah, so easy. Tygarlily on most of the social medias out there. Tygarlily. You can find me on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook Gaming, on Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, those are primary ones.
All right, Kimmiko, you.
Yeah, you can. I stream on Twitch. And so I do first person shooters, art streams, and stuff. So you can go to twitch.tv/KIMMIKO. I have a Flow page. So flow.page/KIMMIKO. And that has a list of all my lovely platforms that you can check me out on. And what's cool about it is you can actually embed your Twitch page on it, and it will play if you're live.
That's cool.
Excellent. And we are, of course, the GGDA. We're Georgia Game Devs most places. GGDA_org and Twitter. Follow us there. If you're on our YouTube, please like and subscribe. And thank you again, Kimmiko. Great interview as always. Tygarlily, looking forward to hearing how it goes with Cyanide and Happiness. For everyone out
Thank
there,
you.
remember, you can apply to speak at SimFest or join us April 13th for our next GGDA meeting, and we'll be having more of these interviews with Kimmiko. Thank you to everyone. Great having you.
Thank you.
Thank you.